My name is KailanTheCreative, and this is Songs from the Revolution. Welcome to episode 3 of the Iran War. This section has nothing to do with America's hegemony, but it has everything to do with Trump's brand. Make America Great Again is a cult that is ushering in a specific type of white nationalism. One where white people do not have respect for any other people, and one where the world is completely white-centered. Patriarchy and whiteness is about to come to the very forefront, but before that can happen, we have to create the image here at home that patriarchy and whiteness is what gets us the win. So the more these things are pushed during Trump's administration, the more his brand will grow, and the more this brand will basically increase his legacy and the amount that he lives on in the brains of Americans. This is all in an attempt to not only rationalize what he stands for, but to make it personable to us. War means that we are no longer identifying with things kind of outside of ourselves. We become more entrenched in nationalism, and we become more patriotic because we want our side to win. The vast majority of Americans don't really care why we're going to war. They just care that we win, because that is the entire point of war, isn't it? To win. So if we don't win this war, Trump knows that his brand will go down. Because discrimination didn't work, propaganda didn't work, aggression didn't work. The only thing that's going to work is peace and democracy. And so that sets us up for an entirely different stage that we're going to be going into in the next 6 to 7 years, specifically in 2028. That's where people start to look at, right? They start to look for either a really strong leader who is not going to divide us, but instead lead us into this next age of patriotism and nationalism that looks a little bit more peaceful, right? And that's going to set up characters like Mandini. Right, you're going to see a lot of people like him and California's governor, Gavin Newsom, who are going to be leading the forefront of that Democratic pushback. But if Trump succeeds in what he's doing, whether that is financially or literally, 2028 will look a lot like dictatorship and authoritarianism. It'll look like those things succeeding. Because people are going to be able to break free from the rose-colored glasses if they see that Trump's plans are not working. Because even conservatives and even Republicans know when something is just not efficient. If war is not efficient, and if being an asshole is not efficient, and if those things do not help for the United States to move forward, then the only thing that will help us is to be nicer, to be a lot more moderate. I think that Trump's brand right now, he's trying to increase it. He's trying to sell himself as though he is a realtor, or as though he is pitching something to a board of investors. And the board of investors is you. It's the 1%. It's his voters, right? It's his own family and all the people that he has in his cabinet. He is telling these people, here's what I can do for you. This is my proposal. If that proposal doesn't work out, then he loses all his money, he loses all his funding, and he knows that everything is riding on the Iran war. And it's even more than just the Iranian war, it's also the Epstein files, right? He wants to be seen as a winner despite the fact that he just took a major loss by being named in the Epstein files, by literally being in the files with children. Okay, by having photos of him taking with Jeffrey Epstein, by having every member in his cabinet be gullible and clueless and just as wide-eyed as he is when the information comes out. If he can paint this brand name, that he's assertive, that he's decisive, that he's trustworthy, that his charisma can actually win a war, then everybody will forget about that. Hopefully. That's the goal, right? To have us all forget about the Epstein files. To have us all forget about his transgressions against humanity alongside Israel. And that is what's really the most important for Donald Trump right now, is to prevail in the eyes of the public. And if he's unable to do that, then he knows he will fail. So this is the grand stage, okay? This is the grand setup. The midterms at this point, they don't matter. Let's like knock those out the camera. Let's knock those out the view, right? It's all on this one war. This sets the foundation for everything. If he wins this war, he's probably going to go into more wars, right? But if he doesn't win this war and he continues to go into more wars, it's only going to decrease the morale of the American people when it comes to him. We will either see him as an authoritarian dictator, or we're going to see his successor become an authoritarian dictator in a way that the United States of America has never known, okay? The fall of the U.S. is definitely here, but Donald Trump is trying to make sure that it's not the fall of Donald Trump. Because if he does not fall, then he gets to remake the U.S. in his image. And that is like whatever that is, right? We don't really know what it means for Donald Trump to make the US in his image. He's been very flippant with that. I think he's going to try and create this new image of America that doesn't stem from the 50s. So we're not going to try to go to the 50s, and we're not going to go to the 30s, and we're definitely not going to go as far back as the 1800s. But make America great again means that we are evolving from the place that we were into something worse, right? It's something whiter, more patriarchal, and more white nationalistic. So I'm very excited, and I know this is a crazy thing to say, but I'm excited to see what Donald Trump is going to do with this branding. I'm excited to see how these next 5 years are going to go, because when 2028 hits, it's going to be like a slap in the face for all of us. And that's in 2 years. Bullshit, getting out of it at least, it starts now. It starts today. And Trump knows that, and he wants you to trust him. So the question here is, are you? Are you going to trust him to lead you into another war? Or are you going to trust yourself and your community, your constituents, your intuition, your mind? Will you be led astray? Will you fall in line like everybody else? Bootstrapped up, camoed down, marching into the next world war